What's up, everybody? Welcome to Among the Fence. My name is Aaron. Today we're checking out the new EP, All That Follows, by the metalcore band Currents. It is properly named, as they stated, they are ending the Death We Seek era. And this 5-track EP consists of their favorite songs that they have written so far after releasing that album. While I liked The Death We Seek, I didn't love it, at least not as much as I love The Way It Ends, I Let the Devil In, or The Place I Feel Safest, which are all just so fantastic. All of which are also kind of different from each other. They all sound like Currents, but they all have a kind of different feel, a different atmosphere to them. And when they released The Death We Seek, judging by the cover, the song titles, the name of the album, I was expecting something a little bit darker and emotionally heavier than what we felt before. But instead, I felt like they kind of played it safe in terms of that. And like they could hear my whiny complaints, they released the first single for this EP, which is also the opening track, and it is titled It Only Gets Darker. And I feel like they kind of deliver on that. The guttural vocals and the verses with the guitar melody draw you in immediately, and it sounds like something we haven't really heard from this band in a long time. The quiet transition into the pre-chorus is a nice touch. The chorus is a little tropey in terms of modern metalcore, but the rest of the track is so heavy you forget about it very quickly. The breakdown is heavy, but nothing really that surprising. Again, it feels kind of tropey. The whole song works really well together, though. If you're just listening to each section individually, it's okay, but the more you listen to it, the better it gets. There's more stuff kind of hidden in there, and I love how this song flows. There's so many different sections to it where it could easily not work, especially with the chorus being as, like I said, standard as it is. The rest of the song could easily fall apart. Severance has an interesting mix on the vocals, and to me it sounds like they're just a little too quiet, but it does let you hear the dynamic riff a little bit better. The chorus reminds me a lot of like old school Killswitch Engage. It has that kind of Howard Jones feel to it, and I absolutely love it. The vocals in verse 2 go off with high screams and low guttural growls as it goes in to verse 3 without going into another chorus first. There's some pretty technical stuff that pops up here and there throughout the song as well, something that Currents is very good at doing, but something I tend to forget about. I don't know if you guys do, but I usually always forget that Currents has some kind of technical wheedly-doos thrown in there, some screeches. It kind of reminds me a little bit of After the Burial in terms of that. And then you also forget just how euphoric the chorus is until it comes back in. And then there's Making Circles, which brings things down just a little bit with its gentle verse. The chorus has some great cleans. The lyrics are what won me over, but honestly, if you just listen to this thing at face value, it's pretty standard metalcore stuff. The vocal changes throughout the song really help mix up the standard song structure that they're using. It doesn't make it feel quite as formulaic. And surprisingly, the breakdown goes super hard. It's one of the chillest songs with one of the most heaviest moments on this album. Can't Turn Back picks the energy back up again with some colorful licks thrown into the riffs. The song structure is pretty wild. There's no chorus. There's only a refrain, I guess, if you want to call that a chorus. And the vocals sound like a monster, especially in verse 2. It's pretty heavy. It's mostly rhythmically driven, and it will be pretty insane in a live setting, I feel like, especially when the blast beats go off in the breakdown. Then we have the closing track, Rise and Fall, which keeps that energy going. I was a little scared that they were going to be melodramatic and they were going to end things on a somber note with a pretty slow song. And out of all the tracks, though, I feel like this one is the most Currents-esque. And what that means is it's the most predictable. It sounds the most like all their other singles. It has a lot of the things that Currents is known to do. If you've ever heard a Currents song, this is one of those. I really enjoyed this EP, and overall, I just enjoy Currents anyways, but at the same time, I want them to explore some of that new stuff that they were diving into. You get a little bit of senses here and there with this, specifically with the lyrics. They're going a little bit deeper. They're not quite as cliche. They're not quite as superficial, but musically, atmospherically, I feel like they could still be darker. And that doesn't mean just a bunch of chugs and stuff like that. I mean, like within their songwriting, they could explore different stuff. I feel like they kind of fall back onto the same things that they've been doing almost like they put themselves in a box. It's like, this is what we do because we're Currents. This is what we sound like. And I feel like they could explore outside of that while still maintaining their sound. And even though this is like the end of an era, because of that, there is still a lot of era found within this. There's a lot of the death we seek within this EP. And I really hope that they push a little bit further away from that with the next album release or EP release, whichever one it happens to be. So with all that said, I got to give All That Follows by Currents a 3.9 out of 5. But I want to know what you guys think. Leave a comment below letting me know what you thought of All That Follows. Let me know what you would rate it and what your favorite song is. Also, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like. It helps out a lot with YouTube's algorithm. And I'm only like 488 subscribers away from 2,000 subscribers or something like that. So, I don't know, somewhere around there. So if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell icon. That way you don't miss out on any of my videos. But at the same time, you help me reach 2,000 subscribers, a number that I never thought would happen, and also a huge number that would just boost my ego up more than I could even imagine as well. And I just thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to listen to me sit here and talk about music. And I hope you have a good rest of your day or night, whenever you have me watching this, and I will talk to you guys next time.